Please turn your attention to the far end of the arena floor and stand, if you are able, for our faculty and staff procession. And please welcome our UMBC Brass Quintet. The platform party is led by the Grand Marshal, Jennifer Manna McMahon, President of the Faculty Senate and Professor in Early Childhood Education. She is joined by Lindsay DeCursey, Students Marshal, the 2026 Presidential Teaching Award recipient, Associate Professor of English, and Affiliate Faculty in Language, Literacy, and Culture.
On behalf of the faculty, staff, and administration of the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, welcome to UMBC's 2026 Convocation. Please remain standing for the national anthem performed by Carly Carter, a senior pursuing a double degree in musical performance and biological sciences. Kylie is honored to represent the music department today. Her performance will be accompanied by a presentation of the colors by UMBC's Naval ROTC program. Please remain standing if you are able throughout the anthem and until the colors have retired.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Kylie. That was a wonderful rendition. And thank you to the students in NROTC and the members of our brass quintet who provided our processional music. Everyone, please be seated. As we welcome you to UMBC, we wish to acknowledge that UMBC was established upon the land of the Piscataway and Susquehannock peoples. Over time, citizens of many more indigenous nations have come to reside in this region. We humbly offer our respect to all past, present, and future indigenous peoples connected to this place. Welcome, Retrievers. My name is Jennifer Mata McMahon. I have been a proud member of UMBC community since 2018, and I currently have the honor of serving as the president of UMBC's Faculty Senate, a role that also serves as Grand Marshal of official university ceremonies, such as commencement and convocation, the event that brings us together today. I imagine that for many of you, this is the first convocation you have attended, and it may all seem quite mysterious, with many of us in these robes and funny hats. There's history and meaning behind all of these symbols of academia. My colleagues and I want to help demystify things as we welcome you to UMBC. So here's a little Convocation 101 for you. Consider this your first class. Throughout academia, which is the word we use to describe the wide-ranging community of colleagues and universities that pursue research, education, and scholarship, convocation is the ceremony that makes the official start of the academic year. It is steeped in traditions and symbols, including the caps and gowns, or regalia, that many of us are wearing. The origins of academic dress date back to the 12th and 13th centuries and trace back to monks' robes. Originally, the robes served mainly to keep people warm in unheated buildings, but over time, the garb took on a more formal role. In the late 19th century, the practice of assigning colors to signify certain disciplines was standardized in the United States. Today, the style, color, and length of the robe and hood serve to distinguish the academic degree the wearer has earned and the institution that awarded it. For example, I hold an EDD in education from Columbia University Teachers College. Columbia's doctoral gown is Columbia blue, or sky blue, with 3 black chevrons denoting the doctoral degree. And my hood has a light blue velvet streak representing the discipline of education. A couple of other details I'll share. First, you may have noticed the fancy-looking staff I carried in the procession. This is a type of ceremonial mace. The use of a mace to symbolize rank and authority goes back as far as the late Stone Age in the ancient Near East. Today, they are used worldwide as formal parliamentary and academic occasions. UMBC's ceremonial mace, crafted by local artist Charles Strauss, was commissioned by the Alumni Association and presented to the university at commencement in 1986, 20 years after UMBC was founded. University presidents tend to wear ornate presidential insignia at formal academic events like convocation. UMBC's insignia, worn today by President Valerie Shears Ashby, symbolizes the weight and responsibility of the president's role. For me, these symbols and traditions convey the solemn importance of the academic mission we pursue and the responsibilities we as members of this scholarly community hold to pursue truth, to advance knowledge, and to serve society. We warmly welcome you to this community today. It is now my pleasure to introduce our Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs, Manfred Van Dulman.
Good afternoon, students, faculty, and staff. Welcome to the beginning of a new academic year at UMBC. To our returning students, faculty, and staff, welcome back. And to our new students and colleagues, thank you for choosing UMBC and becoming part of our community. You belong here, and I'm confident that you will find UMBC to be a remarkable community where inclusive excellence is at the heart of all we do. I want to speak directly to our new students for a few minutes. You are why we are here today. Opening Convocation marks the beginning of your academic journey at UMBC and the official start of your university career. Welcome and congratulations on taking this important next step in your lifelong journey of learning. I'm so thrilled to be able to call each of you a retriever, and I don't say that lightly. Getting to know our students is one of my biggest joys. Every time I speak with our students, I'm amazed by how bright you are, the thoughtful questions you ask, and the futures you aspire to create. I know that with you, our future looks bright. Now let me talk for a bit about Convocation, the ceremony that brings us here together. Convocation is a critical juncture in your lifelong journey of pursuing knowledge and improving the world we live in. Convocation, which means coming together in a formal university ceremony, is a tradition that's more than 800 years old. Opening Convocation is a more recent tradition that started about 100 years ago. Its goal is to create a sense of belonging and togetherness and signal that the entire university is a community and is here to support you on your journey. UMBC is here for you and ready for you to help you succeed in the classroom and beyond. And while you are the architect of your own life, you did not arrive here alone. Many people have supported you throughout your academic journey. At UMBC, we also believe it takes a community to help you succeed, and we meet students where they are, with the support they need to be successful. We believe each member of our community has a role in supporting you and your success, and we are committed in doing so. The fact that you are here means that we believe in your potential and ready to support you on your journey. And more than that, we're not only ready, we are beyond excited to see how you will use your education to help shape the future of your communities, your countries, and the world we share. I'm also mindful, however, that your lifelong journey did not begin today. Throughout your life, you've experienced many defining transitions in your education. In the United States, the start of kindergarten and high school are often recognized as important milestones. These transitions may look different across cultures and countries, but wherever your journey began, starting college is another defining moment. For many of you, tomorrow's first day of classes may bring a mix of excitement and nervousness. I'll be honest, I cannot remember all the details of these first days, but I do remember feeling a bit nervous. That nervousness, however, quickly gave way to the excitement of new opportunities and getting to know new friends. I hope that likewise, your first day of classes tomorrow is a positive one, where you get to make new friends, meet our excellent faculty and staff who will help transform your life. Now, I would like to introduce several members of academic leaders who are here to support you throughout your time at UMBC, your deans. Deans are senior academic leaders who oversee our core academic units on campus. They play a vital role in supporting your academic success and ensuring that your academic programs are the best they can be. Please join me in welcoming the first of these deans, Christia Spears-Brown, Dean of the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences.
Good afternoon, new retrievers. My name is Christia Spears-Brown, and I'm the Dean of the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences. And like many of you, I am also new to UMBC. I joined the university this summer on July 1, so I've been a retriever just a hair longer than you. Before coming to UMBC, I was a professor of developmental psychology and an associate dean at the University of Kentucky. I earned a PhD in psychology from the University of Texas at Austin, and my research, as when I do research, examines how children and adolescents understand identity and stereotypes and discrimination. At its heart, my work asks a question that's central to our college. How do people understand one another, and how can that understanding help us build stronger communities? COS, which is what we informally call the college, is home to about 25 departments and programs with more than 30 majors and more than 50 minors and certificates. We stretch from the arts to the humanities to the social sciences, from dance, theater, music, and visual arts to history, philosophy, languages, from economics and political science to psychology, public health, education, and emergency and disaster health systems. Across all of these fields, we work to understand people, we shape culture, and we help communities. So our approximately 300 faculty members are scholar teachers, artists, researchers, practitioners. They write books, create performances and exhibitions, study issues ranging from health and inequality to the environment, public policy, and human behavior, and work alongside communities in Baltimore and around the world. Most importantly for you, though, they're here to teach you, mentor you, and invite you into their work. Whether COS becomes your academic home or you just take 1 or 2 courses with us, I hope you use your time at UMBC to explore something unfamiliar. Take a class that changes how you see the world, attend a performance or an exhibition, join a research project, learn alongside people whose experiences differ from your own. Your education is not only preparation for your first job, it's a preparation to ask better questions, understand complicated problems, and create meaningful change. So on behalf of the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences, welcome to UMBC. I'm very glad that you and I are beginning this journey together. I'll say a little thing if you're interested in stopping by our Center for Art, Design, and Visual Culture in the Fine Arts Building. We'll have an exhibit coming up this week, Somewhere Over the Rainbow of Row Houses We Fly. It's a tribute to row houses of Baltimore. So we invite you to come and show how we're celebrating our city. It's now my pleasure to introduce another new retriever, Mark Seeger, the Dean of the College of Natural and Mathematical Sciences.
Thank you, and welcome, class of 2030. As you heard, my name is Mark Seeger, and I am also new to UMBC, having arrived as the new Dean of the College of Natural and Mathematical Sciences just 3 weeks ago. However, I am a seasoned academic with almost 30 years of experience in higher education, of which about 15 years have been in administrative roles. I was a first-generation student who grew up in London, England, where I obtained a degree in physics from London's Imperial College, followed by a PhD in astrophysics in Liverpool. The College of Natural and Mathematical Sciences offers programs in the biological sciences, chemistry and biochemistry, mathematics and statistics, physics, marine and applied biotechnology, and naval and military sciences to support UMBC's ROTC programs. 142 instructional faculty and 64 staff provide a rigorous curriculum and the support a student may need to be successful in their major. Since the college provides critical foundational courses to many departments across the university, most students take at least one course or more in CNMS, as we call it for short. I encourage you to take advantage of the Learning Collaboratory, which is a dedicated space that aims to help students successfully pursue a STEM career by offering specialized programming to cultivate academic and professional skills. From workshops to study hall socials, we bring the campus to you. In CNMS, we firmly believe that it takes a scientist to train a scientist, and faculty researchers in the college are listed among the world's top 2% of most cited scientists. Importantly, not only do they do world-class research, but at UMBC, they also choose to teach and mentor the next generation of scientists, leaders, and colleagues. So come join us on developing the next satellite, finding a cure for a disease, or saving the world's oceans as together we explore the unknown and create a better future for all. On behalf of the College of Natural and Mathematical Sciences, welcome to UMBC. If you get a chance, stop by the college's open house in the University Center, room 116, on September 14th, starting at 11 a.m. Everyone is welcome. It is now my pleasure to introduce Jean Van Briesen, Dean of the College of Engineering and Information Technology.
Wow, it's so exciting to be here. I'm excited to welcome you all, and particularly to welcome our future engineers, computer scientists, and information technologists. We are very happy that you're joining us to begin your careers contributing to these critical fields. We know that you will truly change the world. My name is Jean Van Briesen. I'm the Dean of the College of Engineering and Information Technology, and like you, I'm new to our UMBC community. I began my journey at UMBC last summer. I've been warmly welcomed, and I know you will be as well. I had a winding path to my current role. I started college knowing that I loved math and science, and I tried out chemistry and chemical engineering, biomedical engineering, and finally I graduated with a degree in education. I loved and still love teaching. I would probably still be a high school physics and chemistry teacher if I hadn't been laid off and gone back to graduate school, where I fell in love with research in environmental engineering and science. When I graduated with my doctorate, I realized that becoming a professor would let me keep doing both things, teaching and research. In my role as dean, I'm privileged to work with more than 200 faculty and staff, supporting more than 4,500 undergraduate students and 1,200 graduate students. This fall, we are welcoming more than 1,100 new undergraduates and almost 300 new graduate students. We have 4 departments: chemical, biochemical, and environmental engineering, computer science and electrical engineering, information systems, and mechanical engineering. Within these departments, we have 6 majors and 4 minors, and our largest academic majors are computer science and information systems. Like me, our faculty are engaged in teaching and research, and they link and leverage these activities through mentoring students. I'm particularly excited about our co-ed interdisciplinary projects. We're in the 3rd year. We've supported teams to address questions that require multiple perspectives and tools from different disciplines in engineering and information technology. This year, we also funded several projects to translate their interdisciplinary research into impact in the world. We also had a very successful summer student research program that just concluded, involving our own UMBC students as well as students from Baltimore City Community College. If you would like to learn more about co-ed, please join us at the post-convocation event or join us at our co-ed open house on Tuesday, September 1st from 3 to 5 p.m. in the University Center Ballroom. Again, on behalf of the College of Engineering and Information Technology, welcome to UMBC. It is my pleasure to introduce Nancy Kuzmal, Associate Dean and Chair of the School of Social Work and Interim Dean of the Erickson School of Aging Studies.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I join my colleagues in welcoming you to UMBC. I'm Nancy Kuzmal, and this is my 13th year at UMBC. I have the pleasure of serving in a dual role as both the Associate Dean and Chair of the School of Social Work and as the Interim Dean of the Erickson School of Aging Studies. My training and professional experiences make me uniquely suited to this role. I have a master's degree in social work from the University of Michigan and a PhD in social welfare from the University of Buffalo. And I spent my practice career working with older adults and their families in nursing homes, hospitals, adult day centers, and home care. Let me tell you a little bit more about our schools. UMBC's School of Social Work offers a Bachelor's in Social Work program at both the Catonsville and the universities at Shady Grove campuses. We also collaborate with the University of Maryland, Baltimore Graduate School of Social Work, which offers master's and doctoral degree programs in social work. Graduates from our bachelor's program may apply for advanced standing to MSW programs, which decreases the degree requirements and the time to earn a graduate degree. We have 15 faculty members who each have practice experience in social work and bring that experience to their teaching and research. They study a broad range of social problems, including aging, addictions, mental health, child welfare, intimate partner violence, immigrants and refugees, social policy, and education. In addition to coursework, social work faculty provide students with academic advising, professional mentorship, and opportunities to work on research projects. Members of our faculty have worked with BSW students to publish papers and to present at national conferences. All social work majors complete a field placement as part of their academic journey. This mentored experience allows them to work in a community social work setting with supervision from professional social workers and their social work faculty. These field experiences enable students to practice what they learn in the classroom in the real world. Students do placements in settings such as schools, hospitals, youth programs, and mental health or substance abuse programs. Our students are well prepared for graduate school and careers in our communities as bachelor's level social workers. The Erickson School of Aging Studies is one of 3 schools of aging in the United States. We offer a major and 3 minors, plus an accelerated master's, a traditional master's, and 3 graduate certificate programs. Throughout all, we integrate the science of aging, policy, and business in a way that makes us unique. Our 21 full and part-time faculty members are scholar practitioners with extensive connections to industry, government, and advocacy organizations. We are deeply committed to providing an education that is practical and rooted in the needs of the community to help you succeed and to strengthen Maryland's aging communities. As you know from your own circle of friends and family, people are living longer. This demographic shift is creating needs and opportunities for talented multi-generational workforce in the new global longevity economy. So much, in fact, that virtually any major or area of interest can and likely will intersect with aging. Consider taking an aging class to meet your general education requirements. You may find that one of our minors or a double major can make your skills in computer science, psychology, or biology even more valuable and marketable. I'm excited that Erickson's Center for Community Innovation and Aging is supporting Longevity Ready Maryland, the visionary plan that will prepare our state for a growing population of older adults while fostering collaboration, equity, and inclusivity. There are opportunities for interested students to participate in this and other projects. I invite you to visit the Erickson School at the Commons Main Street on August 27th to learn more about our courses and programs and even pick up some swag. If past trends continue, most of you will take at least 1 course in aging before you graduate. So come meet our team and learn more about scholarships, internships, student organizations, and how careers in aging are all around us. And now I have the pleasure of introducing our president, Valerie Shears Ashby.
Good afternoon. Okay, so you all are new, so you got to know that I'm going to want some energy from you. This is a great day. Good afternoon. There we go, there we go. Welcome to all of you who are new to our community, to all of our incoming undergraduate, graduate students, faculty, and staff. We are simply honored that you have chosen UMBC, and we are delighted to start this semester with you. It is my pleasure now to introduce our next speaker, Lindsay DeCurchy, recipient of the UMBC Presidential Teaching Award for 2026 to 2029. Lindsay DeCurchy is an associate professor of English and graduate program director for the MA in Text, Technologies, and Literature. She joined the UMBC faculty in 2011 after receiving her PhD at The Ohio State University in Early American Literature. Much of her teaching springs from her fascination with book history and print culture, as well as paranormal, controversial, or banned books in the early US. Professor DeCurchy teaches courses ranging from American ghost stories and dangerous reading to early African American print and the secret lives of books. I'm signing up. I am definitely signing up. It is my pleasure to welcome her to offer us greetings. Please join me in welcoming Lindsay DeCurchy.
Okay,
Thank you so much, President Shears Ashby, for that introduction, and also for the honor of speaking to you all today on behalf of UMBC's faculty this afternoon. I'm thrilled to be standing here before you at the start of your first and my 16th school year at UMBC in the English department. I still get first day nerves and pre-semester stress dreams. They started a couple weeks ago. The worst one is where I'm supposed to be teaching a course and I don't know where it meets, and so I'm running up and down UMBC's many endless staircases in my pajamas. All my work clothes are in the wash somehow, and I finally arrive to class and I see at the top of the syllabus that I'm teaching like nanotechnology engineering or something, and I'm there and I'm trying to improvise and come up with a connection between quantum physics and Nathaniel Hawthorne, and then mercifully I wake up in a cold sweat. So how many of you have had some version of this nightmare in your life? On the stage, maybe? I think it's a plot that our anxious brains kind of share, and it's one that draws on our fears of crashing out in public, being unprepared, being exposed as an amateur or a fraud. But these fears aren't only coarse and grating and destructive. They have a kind of smooth side when you move through them in another direction. So let me explain what I mean. You're probably at UMBC because you want to gain training and expertise in your field of study. But I want to suggest that the lofty language of expertise or the end game of mastery can eclipse more essential dispositions of learning. Let me briefly talk about two of those dispositions that have become essential to my own teaching and learning: bewilderment and wonder. So I'm a language nerd, so I love reading about word origins, and the story behind bewilderment is pretty interesting. The word came together from two roots. The first, wilda, or wild, meant underdeveloped land, and the second, deor, or deer, meant undomesticated animals. So to go wildering was to wander astray. And then to become bewildered was to become thoroughly lost. I find bewilderment an appealing disposition in the classroom because it captures the messy and exploratory part of learning, the part where you're wildering, not always knowing where you're going. Writer Ocean Vuong once described life as, quote, this unfinished staircase to nowhere and everywhere. This metaphor, like being lost in the woods, captures the double-sided coin of bewilderment: perplexity, possibility. Drift, discovery. The discomfort that comes with life in the wild or on that unfinished staircase is something that you can sit with, even learn from. I frequently teach in my classes letterpress printing, and there are a few things more humbling than setting a line of type, letter by tiny letter, locking it in, inking it up, printing an impression, and realizing the line is totally backwards. Bewilderment is a teacher, though. I learned through that process more about the history of print and the people who expertly set every important treatise, poem, proclamation, holy book, and handbill in the world into type because I tried doing it, even if I failed. So bewilderment is in part about discomfort and humiliation, but there's an upside. It's what media scholar Leah Henriksen calls constructive bewilderment. She writes, quote, by persisting through the bewilderment, students achieve satisfaction of learning while making truly novel contributions to knowledge. You might feel sometimes that there's nothing truly novel left to contribute, but that is a lie. And it's a lie that largely benefits very powerful people who hope that by tamping your creativity, ingenuity, curiosity, diversity, your stories, and even your outrage, that they can maintain the status quo. So I encourage you to practice constructive bewilderment and do it in community with people who will enlarge your worldview and come find you when you're adrift. Make your home among questions, not just quick answers. The vision of UMBC, after all, is to, quote, inspire inquisitive minds from all backgrounds. So let me talk now about the fuel for constructive bewilderment, what I'm calling wonder. So this word was first used as a noun to mean something strange, astonishing, or unexplainable. But later, the verb wonder, as in, I wonder why this chemical behaves this way, I wonder how this law got passed, I wonder who ate my Nerds gummy clusters, I got that one from my kids, came to mean having a curiosity about something. So I point out this grammatical shift because it helps me move through wonder in the right order. And the order is first bewilderment, then curiosity. The exclamation, wow, comes before the question, what is that? Zora Neale Hurston wrote in 1942 that, quote, "Research is formalized curiosity. It's poking and prying with a purpose." So I love this definition because Hurston roots us in the playfulness that we sometimes lose when we're understandably mired in deadlines and our jobs and our home lives and our caregiving responsibilities and our debt. But wonder is not just some ivory tower luxury or some habit of mind that's only available to the select few. You see, the opposite of wonder is apathy. And I know if you're sitting here today, you are not indifferent to your education or to the hard work of your caregivers and forebears or to the struggles of this world. I know you have fascinations and ambitions and worries. Those too are wonders. So as an English professor, I can't close these remarks without just like a little bit of literary history. So in 1841, transcendentalist philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson published the essay called Self-Reliance. He worried that American ideas were just sloppy derivations of whatever was coming out of European institutions and books. What was driving this unoriginality, he wondered? The same thing driving my stress dreams and maybe yours, self-doubt. We hesitate, we lower our hand, we pretend not to care. But Emerson urges, quote, "A person should learn to detect and watch that gleam of light which flashes across their mind from within, more than the luster of the firmaments of bards and sages. Yet they dismiss without notice their thought because it is theirs. In every work of genius, we recognize our own rejected thoughts." So now I suppose we on this platform are supposed to be the bards and sages in this scenario, but you should know that faculty all have a graveyard of rejected thoughts and dismissed ideas. That experience is shared among us. But what sets learners apart from impersonators, what will set you apart at UMBC, is attention to that gleam of light which flashes across your mind, a gleam we might call wonder, a gleam we might call purpose. A little over 30 years after Emerson published Self-Reliance, the poet Walt Whitman wrote an 8-line poem that puts Emerson's observations into verse. And it's called "When I Heard the Learned Astronomer." And so I'll read it to you now in closing, and with my hopes that you thrive at UMBC this year and beyond. When I heard the learned astronomer, when the proofs, the figures were ranged in columns before me, when I was shown the charts and diagrams to add, divide, and measure them, when sitting, I heard the astronomer where he lectured with much applause in the lecture room, how soon unaccountable I became sick and tired, till rising and gliding out, I wandered off by myself in the mystical, moist night air, and from time to time, looked up in perfect silence at the stars. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor DeKirchie. That was beautiful. Thank you. Now it is my pleasure to introduce to you a fellow student, Jamabo William West. Jamabo is an information systems major with a double minor in math and computer science. Jamabo served as a Willie in 2025. Now I will tell you, this is something you may want to do one day for UMBC. Willies act as campus ambassadors and mentors, and they help new students smoothly transition into life at UMBC. Please join me in welcoming Jamabo.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. All right, first, I want to say congratulations and welcome to UMBC. For some of you, getting here meant traveling hundreds or even thousands of miles away from home. For me, it meant taking a left. Literally. Yeah. As soon as you come off Exit 12C, if you make a right, you'll end up here at UMBC. If you make a left, you'll end up at my old high school, Western School of Technology and Environmental Science. So this area, this community, has been my home for going on 8 years now. When I was deciding where I wanted to go to college, I knew a lot of people who had graduated from UMBC. And one thing I noticed, that the people I knew who came through this university went on to do incredible things. But what really sold me was visiting campus. There was something about the people here. Everybody was welcoming. It felt like a place where I could grow into whoever it was that I wanted to become. And looking back now, I can say that my journey at UMBC has been worth every moment. Now, it hasn't always been easy, but college isn't supposed to be. Being here has taught me so much about what I want out of life, the person I aspire to become, and what I want to accomplish along the way. UMBC has forced me to take risks. It's forced me to explore. And most importantly, it's taught me to not be content with the status quo. But when I think about what has made my experience here truly impactful, it isn't a building or a class. It's the people. It's the professors who genuinely want to see you succeed. It's the friends you meet randomly and somehow end up talking every single day. It's the organizations that give you somewhere to belong. And for me personally, one of the biggest pieces of that community has been my fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. I joined my fraternity during the spring of my freshman year in 2024, and at the time, I couldn't have predicted how much that decision would shape my college experience. The brothers I met on this campus saw potential in me. They took me under their wing, they challenged me, guided me, and gave me valuable tools that helped me become not just a better student, but a better leader and a better man. And to me, that speaks to something bigger about UMBC. There's a genuine sense of community here. You'll find people who want to see you succeed, people who will tell you about multiple opportunities, people who will introduce you to someone, people who will sit next to you at 1 in the morning trying to figure out an assignment that neither of you understand. Because around here, when one of us wins, we all win. But here's the catch. You have to go out and find those people. You have to get involved. And getting involved doesn't just mean you have to join 15 different organizations your first week and somehow become a president of every single one of those organizations. Yeah, don't do that. Getting involved simply means being willing to step outside of your comfort zone. Dive deeper into the things that you already love. Explore something you've always been curious about. Join an organization. Play an intramural sport. Attend an event where you don't know anybody. And if there's something you want to see on this campus that doesn't exist, advocate for it. Start it. Build it if you have to. UMBC gives you the opportunity to create the experience that you want to have. And as you begin that experience, I want to leave you with 2 pieces of advice. The first is simple. Do not be afraid to fail. Michael Jordan once said, "I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that's why I succeed." And whether you're a basketball fan or not, that message matters. At some point during your college career, you're probably going to fail at something. You might bomb an exam. You might not get that internship. You might apply for a leadership position and not get selected. You might take a chance on something and realize that it just wasn't for you, and that's okay. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a part of it. The students who thrive here aren't necessarily the students who never struggle. They're the students who learn how to struggle, adjust, ask for help, get back up, and keep moving. So take that risk. Submit that application. Introduce yourself. Try the thing that you're not completely sure you're ready for. Because sometimes the biggest opportunities of your college career will begin when you simply have the courage to say, "Why not me?" And my second piece of advice is probably the most important thing that I'll be able to tell you. UMBC is going to be what you make it. If you decide to spend the next 4 years sitting in your dorm, going to class, isolating yourself in the library, and never attending anything here on campus, I'm gonna be honest, you probably aren't going to enjoy college very much. But if you step outside, if you spend some time in the commons, if you go to an event here and there, if you join an intramural team, if you join a study group, if you introduce yourself to the person sitting next to you, if you build genuine, lifelong friendships, and if you fully embrace everything that this university has to offer, one day you're gonna walk that stage, look back at these years and realize that somewhere along the way, UMBC became more than a place where you went to school. It became a part of your story. 4 years sounds like a long time right now, but trust me, it really isn't. So don't spend those years waiting for your college experience to happen for you. Go create it. Take the risks. Find your people. Embrace the failures. Celebrate the wins. And become the person you came here to become. Congratulations on officially starting your journey here at UMBC. Make it one worth remembering. Welcome to UMBC Retrievers, and good luck.
Oh, I'm ready to start at UMBC myself. That was fabulous. Thank you so very much for those wonderful remarks. So good afternoon again. I have the great privilege of serving as UMBC's 6th president, but long before, I heard some claps, I appreciate that. But long before I was a university president or a dean or a professor, I was a new college student sitting at my own convocation at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. And I distinctly remember it. I went to UNC's convocation thinking it was just one more thing we had to do in orientation. No one told me what convocation was, as we have tried to do today. I remember sitting in the basketball arena, feeling so lost and overwhelmed. A bunch of official-looking people wearing official-looking caps and gowns with official-sounding words, and I didn't get it. At that moment, I wondered whether I really belonged there, whether I would fit in, or whether I was even ready. So if any of you are sitting here today feeling some version of that, I want to make sure that you hear me clearly. You heard it from our provost. I'll say it again. You belong here. You have come to an institution that wants you here and believes that you can be successful here, even if you don't quite believe that yet fully yourselves. I also want you to know that not feeling so sure of yourself is also welcomed here. It is certainly understandable, and we are all here to support you. I'm going to take a brief moment here to show you who's here to support you. If you are faculty or staff here today, anyone who supports our students, would you please stand? Thank you so much. So they are here on a Sunday afternoon. I'll just say that again. They know why that's funny. This is one of the first times it's the first time we've had convocation on a Sunday since I've been here. They're here on a Sunday afternoon en masse to let you know how much they care about you, how much they believe in you, and how much they support you. What I will tell you is one of the great gifts that I've had in my own life is having people like this, mentors who supported me and saw in me things I could not begin to see in myself. My first mentor saw a professor. I didn't see that one. I had another mentor who saw a leader and even a college president. They saw possibility in me before I could fully believe it or imagine it for myself. So I want you to know that all of us who just stood, we see great things in all of you, and that is why you are here. And that belief in the potential of every student is fundamental to who we are here at UMBC. In fact, UMBC has built a reputation as a public research university with a particular view on excellence. Here, we believe that excellence comes not by excluding all but a select few, but rather that excellence requires inclusion. We believe that we cannot be excellent in conducting research, in educating a citizenry, or in serving our communities without being inclusive. We believe our responsibility is to bring talented people that I am seeing in this audience from many different backgrounds all together, remove the barriers to their success, challenge them, support them, and create an environment where, as you heard from Jamabo, where you can become more than you ever imagined. And that is what brings us together, and that is what brings together this wonderfully diverse class that I see before me today. There are 2,200 of you that were selected from the largest undergraduate application pool ever in the history of UMBC. There were 15,100 applications, and we chose you. You come to us from Maryland, across the US, from 42 countries around the world, including India, Nigeria, Pakistan, Vietnam, and Venezuela. 36% of you, that means count off 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, every third person you hit, you're the first person in your families to attend college. I just want to give you a round of applause. And many of you are our transfer students who we dearly love. You come, yes. This class has transfer students from 15 of the 16 community colleges in the state of Maryland. We'll figure out which one didn't send us a student this time. You are truly a beautiful class. You are academically talented. You're leaders in your schools and communities. You bring different experiences, interests, and questions, and different ways of seeing the world, and now you are all retrievers. So my hope for you is, as you have heard earlier, my hope for you is that not that you will just get a degree. I hope you learn something about yourselves that you don't know today. I hope you find a professor who makes you think differently. I hope you meet people whose lives and experiences are nothing like your own. I hope that you ask the questions you're afraid that might sound silly. I hope you try something you've never done before. I hope you find a mentor. I hope you become a mentor. I hope you ask for help when you need it. And this is the one that I want you to remember. I hope you give yourselves permission not to have everything figured out. So I'll say it again, you belong here. Welcome to this amazing community of inquisitive minds. Congratulations to each one of you. Provost Van Doelman, will you please join me at the podium?
President Shears Ashby, on behalf of the faculty and staff, it is my pleasure to present to you the incoming class of undergraduate and graduate students. The faculty and staff of the university are committed to supporting them throughout their academic journey at UMBC and beyond. We look forward to presenting them to you again at their commencement ceremony.
Congratulations. And now I would like to invite Amariana Crawley, Executive Vice President of UMBC's Student Government Association, to offer special greetings and one more UMBC tradition. Welcome, Amariana.
Good afternoon. My name is Amariana Crawley. I am a psychology major and senior at UMBC and Executive Vice President of our Student Government Association. It is my sincere pleasure to welcome you all to UMBC. I hope you all feel the warmth of our welcome. You are joining an incredible community of students, faculty, staff, and alumni who care deeply about each other, this university, and the difference it makes. Joining this community is both a privilege and a responsibility, and to signify that, as you entered the arena today, you were bestowed with the UMBC pin. The pin is a small but meaningful token of the values that unite us. On one side of the card, you will find a student community commitment statement, which I hope you will read and take to heart. It asks you to respect, honor, and care for the UMBC community and all of its members. On the other side of the card, you will find the words to our alma mater. You might ask, what's an alma mater? Well, the words alma mater are Latin, meaning nourishing mother. Universities began using that phrase as an allegory in the early 17th century. Today, alma mater can refer to school a person attended or graduated from. It may also be the school's official song or hymn, often sung at academic or athletic events. UMBC's alma mater debuted in 2006 in conjunction with the university's 40th anniversary. The lyrics and arrangement were written by Yari Villanueva, who was the founding director of UMBC's pep band, following a tradition of setting university alma maters to hymns. He chose the tune of America Hymn by Matthias Keller. Now we're going to sing it together, but we will have some help. The UMBC Jubilee Singers, conducted by Janice Jackson, director of the UMBC Jubilee and Gospel Choirs, will sing it first, and then we'll all sing it together. All who are able, please stand to sing our alma mater. After the alma mater, we ask that you remain at your seats. Convocation will be concluded by our Grand Marshal.
And now we're going to try to sing it along with them. That was the practice so you could hear the tune. You weren't getting off that easily. Okay, Director Jackson, let's see what we can do.
Unity.
Thank you, Jubilee singers. Welcome, new retrievers. Following today's ceremony, we invite you to a free community cookout next to the soccer stadium at Giffen Hill. Enjoy your food and festivities, and then stay to cheer our men's soccer team as they take on Loyola. Yahoo! Follow the parade as you exit the building to join in the celebration. This concludes the 2026 Convocation ceremony. Please remain in place until the platform party and the faculty and staff have recessed. On behalf of the UMBC community, I wish you congratulations and welcome to UMBC, the place where you belong.